he would step across the line. Habitually. He's a habitual line stepper.
You make me happy. Thank y'all for joining us on the Habitual Line Steppers podcast. I am Karen. No, I am Garrett Charles Langley Henson.
And I am Terry Ricardo, the Shades of the Second. What's good, man? Before we get started, like every time, subscribe to the channel, baby. Hit the like button and comment, man. We comment back, man. So what's good, man? NFL, soccer, ready to get into it?
Yeah, a whole episode of footy, dog. Whether it's football or football, as my South American friends might call it.
The usual show. So Sunday gave us a nice little slate over your birthday weekend. Also, happy birthday to you, Scottie Pippen year 3-3. Shout out to Garrett. Clap.
Scottie Pippen. Wait a minute. You just took the podcast off the rails.
Who's the best 33?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Larry Bird. I got you. My bad. You're white. I forgot. Larry Bird. Why'd you say a Muslim before Larry Bird? See? I'm taking your white card. I'm taking it. Right.
Lou Alcindor. It's my Lou Alcindor year. That's what nobody's ever said.
There we go. Hey, look, cheers. Sunday gave us a nice little slate. You know what I'm saying? We got the 1 o'clock games. Most of them were shit. Not gonna lie. Didn't really learn a whole lot from a lot of these teams. I learned the Browns suck, and I learned the Patriots suck. You know, that was cool. Texans having some problems. What games you want to go over, man? A lot of weird games.
I feel like we have to start with my Atlanta Falcons.
All right, Sunday night.
Sunday night, the marquee game against the reigning Super Bowl champs.
Yep.
Everyone this whole offseason, beginning of the season, has been talking about how the NFL has had some home cooking for the Chiefs, how there's a conspiracy. We're all wearing tinfoil hats. We're all telling you guys that the NFL wants the Chiefs to get a three-peat. And I didn't believe one word of it until Kyle Pitts was open in the end zone and that middle linebacker jumped all over his back and they ain't call no pass interference. We would have had first and 10 from the 1 yard line. Instead, we got to kick the field goal and try to get it back.
Then so you thought it was PI? You thought it was PI for sure?
Oh yeah, everybody says PI. Like right. it was clear as hell. His head was not around. Kyle Pitts is coming back for the ball. And he's going through his body. Much more egregious, by the way, than the ones the Chiefs were beneficiaries of. Yeah. But at the end of the day, Terry, it wasn't lost by the refs. It was lost by our play calling and execution on 4th down, 1 yard to gain. We line up with 2 running backs in the backfield and turn Algier into a fullback, a man who's never played fullback. A man who's never been a lead blocker. He runs right past the middle linebacker who cuts through the middle of the gap, stops Bijan short. Game, set, match. Falcons find a way to claw defeat from the jaws of victory. So shout out to them once again.
So you thought that was horrible play call on their part? Just you didn't like it? You hated it?
Just ridiculous. Like they shut down our outside zone all game long. Like, we couldn't get shit going with that outside zone.
They're quick.
In the biggest play of the game, this is what we do. Our whole offense was, let's run outside zone for 1.5 yards, and then let's throw Darnell Mooney a bubble screen for some reason. It was like every time that Kirk Cousins would float one of these ducks in the air that just hangs in the air for 25 seconds, the very next play, we're like, all right, bubble screen to Darnell Mooney. This is all he can handle. All right, let's go back to basics.
Darnell's got the whole route tree. It is a little disrespectful. You guys are currently sitting 1-2. We saw the Saints and the Bucks come back to life, though, so there's still hope in the air. It's the Chiefs, man. What do you want? You know, like you saw it firsthand yourself. Prime time Sunday night. You know, I don't know exactly what their record is on those games, but I'm going to be for certain that it's above at least 70%. You know, so like good luck with that, especially with Patty Mahomes being at the helm and Andy Reid as a coach. Like it is what it is. I'm sure maybe even Taylor Swift might have been there. I didn't get to watch that singular game. That was the only game I missed.
Taylor Swift is afraid to come to Atlanta. There's no way that she was at the game.
Nah.
We got her shook.
Stop it. She rocked Mercedes-Benz. You know it. She rocked Mercedes-Benz before.
Anyway, this ain't Nashville, bitch. Okay.
Shout out Taylor Swift. But yeah, man. Hey, look, it's the Chiefs, dog. Not much to be said. You lost. It is. You still got hope though, right? It's just 1-2.
I still got hope. We can clean it up, hopefully. But the more turnovers Kirk Cousins has, the less hope I'm beginning to have.
I told you to
And
watch out for him.
your boy has 6 through 3 games and had another 3 that were called back by penalties so far. He could have 9 turnovers so far. That not a lot of hope in that. If he doesn't get his shit together, there is no season.
Penix.
He played okay in this game, Kirk Cousins,
Yeah.
but I tell you what, 3 weeks in a row, 2-9 on third down, and he's looking a lot like Washington Redskins Kirk Cousins, where it's like, oh, it's 3rd and 8, I'm throwing a 2-yard pass, but my completion percentage is ridiculous. I thought that guy had left after he went to the Vikings, and he was hurling it downfield to Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson. He was slinging the pill. I was like, yo, Kirk is aggressive now. He's not that safe, play it safe, conservative guy anymore. 2-9 against the Steelers on third down. 2-9 against the Eagles on third down. 2-9 against the Chiefs on third down. You combine that with 6 turnovers, it's not a recipe to win games.
No, he's not great. I mean, I told you it's going to be rough, especially him coming off the injury. You still are doing a lot of shotgun and pistol. He's starting to do some play action from under the center, but
it's good every time he does it. I don't know why we don't do it more.
You should. I will say, and I saw they pointed this out, and this is just me. I didn't watch this singular game. I watched most of the other games, but from them showing how obvious it looks, from all the shotgun and pistol plays to how obvious it is when he's under center, teams are going to figure that shit out. So you need to figure something out. If he's not going to be the dude, you paid him. He's probably going to finish this season out, which I disagree with. I don't fuck with him. Plus, off of that injury, it's a serious ass injury. I get it. Quarterbacks don't get, hit as much as a normal guy. But if he's continuously going to be like this, you got to do something because you guys can make the playoffs with this team. I feel like your roster is actually pretty good. Your O-line is decent. I don't think he's got a lot of pressure on him for most of the time.
I'm glad you brought that up, Terry. You reminded me. That was the turning point of this game. Was in one drive, our center tore his fucking PCL, and then our right tackle hyperextend his knee or some shit, or tore some minor ligament.
Couple backups in there.
Yeah, immediately now we're putting in 2 backup offensive linemen, and
you got Chris Jones coming at you.
Yeah, it was that was game, set, and ball game right there, regardless of the refs or our 4th down play calling.
Hey, man, look, you kept it close versus the champs. The Chiefs still have a really good defense. So, regardless of the fact you played a decent game, you kept it kind of close. You didn't cover the spread. No biggie. It's not that big of a deal. But
Patrick Mahomes said we're going to be a force to be reckoned with this year. He said we're going to make some noise after the game.
Hey, brother, I don't know what's going on with QBs this year, but this shit is shockingly bad. I'm not going to lie. It's shockingly bad. But let's move on to
I was like, let's talk about another NFC South QB that was shockingly bad.
Oh, we got to talk about it. Yep.
We called it on the podcast last week. I said I do not believe in these New Orleans Saints, and I do not believe in Derek Carr. And they came out here and scored 12 points versus the Eagles. Derek Carr, 14 for 25 passing for 142 yards and a 69 passer rating.
Beautiful.
They couldn't move the ball. They were completely stifled and stymied. That offense came right back down to the ground. And it's exactly what I told you. Yeah. Make this guy a fucking pocket passer. Shut down the run, cut out the play action, and get him in 3rd and long situations where you can actually rush him. And he'll turn right back into the same Derek Carr that we've known and not loved for years.
Yeah, this is Derek Carr. Derek Carr does what Derek Carr does. No surprise on my side. Honestly, we don't have to talk too much about that game. Eagles, nice little comeback, but still looking at them sideways, bro.
Still looks like they're winning in spite of their coach. It seems that way.
Another week of weird ass play calls and clock management and the decision making on some of these 3rd and 4th downs. I'm like, come on.
The penalties.
Yeah, penalties are crazy.
3rd week in a row with over 10 penalties.
Discipline, man.
The turnovers. Bad. It's every time they don't shoot themselves in the foot, they look like a fucking juggernaut. But Nick Sirianni, he wakes up in the morning, he gets out of bed, and he steps right on his dick. And that's the Eagles' identity right now.
Hey man, so what? Jalen Hurts had one pick and one fumble, right? A nice little turnover fest. Look, man, look. Honestly though, as long as he can still, if he's still looking mobile, I still believe they're probably the best team in that division.
Yeah.
Even with the defense, like the defense being as bad as it is right now, and the pass rush being horrible and all that, but I think they've got it. Saints are probably going to regress to the mean, and be like 8-9, 9-8 type of thing. So no surprise there. Big surprise though, Bucks, bro. If we're keeping it NFC South, Bucks getting destroyed by the Broncos was definitely not on the docket for me. I'm not gonna lie. Making Bo Nix look like a quarterback, making Baker look pedestrian.
Their defense shutting down the explosive passing
Dude,
game.
I don't know what the fuck happened, but I was shocked when I tuned in second quarter and I was like 14-0. What the hell is this? Like, what's going on? Then they scored again, and I was like, all right, hold on. Do the Bucks
Yeah.
suck? I don't know what's
I
going on.
I think the Broncos, like, I feel like they were just like, we're just going to put Pat Surtain on Mike Evans, and he's going to shut him
Yeah,
down one-on-one. And
he's
then we're
with them.
just going to, yeah, we'll just have bracket coverage on Godwin. And who the hell?
Hmm.
Kate Otten, you want to throw to him 13 times? Bucky
Go for it.
Irving, Rashad White. Like,
Yeah,
okay, get these
be my
guys the
guest.
ball.
Yeah, be my guest. All right, tough game, bro. We'll move on. Let's
Panthers, baby. We got to talk
big
about it.
news.
We're
Yeah, we
here
gotta
in
go Houston.
Carolina. We talked about the last, or no, we didn't talk about the last pod that Bryce Young was being benched, did we? I think it came out after.
No, because we talked about the game and then he got benched, and now we're here, and Andy Dalton played decent.
Yeah. And so the whole narrative was, I mean, you couldn't put anybody in this situation. They've had success. I mean, look at this offensive line. Look at these weapons around him.
Son,
His number one receiver is Deontay Johnson. He's got 46-year-old Adam Thielen. Chuba Hubbard is the running back. Nobody could succeed in this
it's
offense
not a narrative, dog. It was real life shit. Like,
until Andy Dalton showed up and dropped 300 yards and 3 touchdowns and blew the fuck out of who they played, the Raiders?
the Raiders, yeah.
Yeah,
The
blew the
score
Raiders
actually
out of the gym, bro.
it ended up being 36-22, but really it was more of a beating than that, if we're being completely honest. Like, the Raiders put up some garbage points at the end. Yeah, 36-22. Bryce Young. Is he out of here forever?
Oh, it's a wrap. It's a fucking wrap in Carolina.
And I heard some trade inquiries were coming in, so I don't know.
Which ones did you like? Because but hold on. Let's pump the brakes. Let's give this man Andy Dalton his moment that he's had to wait
red
for.
On red. Go ahead. Give your redheaded stepbrother.
Last time that we fucking saw this guy, he was doing it for the Panthers. Like, he had 300 yards the last time we saw his ass. He was winning games. He and Adam Thielen had that professional connection, like two professional football players are want to have when they practice together and get their timing right.
Yeah.
And now he has a chance to put a stake in the heart of the Cincinnati Bengals, who let him go to the Panthers next week. It could not have set up for your boy Andy Dalton. There's a stake in the heart of Bryce Young. He's done. The era is over in Carolina. I don't know how you go back to a number one pick after you bench him 2 games into the season and his backup goes fucking hog wild with the same supporting cast. You can't go back. I know that they made him a captain, and it was cute watching him trot out there without his helmet on with the rest of the captains that go back to the fucking bench and watch Andy Dalton put up 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But it's over in Carolina, bro. The writing's on the wall. Bryce
Young
is done.
So I don't remember the game last year, but I do remember Bryce Young. He missed that one game with the injury, and Andy Dalton played decent. And I don't remember if they won that game. Look that up while I'm gonna give you this stat that I was looking at on Twitter. So I understand that Bryce Young is trash. I totally get it. But the one thing I saw, Chuba Hubbard gashing the Raiders like it was, he was playing against a fucking college football team. That Bryce Young never got that with any of the running backs that was on the team. That's one. The O-line gave Andy Dalton 0.7 seconds longer to throw in the pocket from the first 2 games versus probably, the Raiders most likely are horrible, so we'll never know. That's 2. The third thing is we keep talking about the fucking receivers and shit, like not getting open and all this type of shit. The play calling looked a little different. I'm not gonna lie. Plus, if you already got the running, now you give a little bit of play action in there. And I think it's fair to say Andy Dalton has a better fucking arm than Bryce Young. Like we've always said that. We always said don't do that. Like I don't think Bryce is gonna be great, but let's not get carried away. It's the whole interim. It's the Antonio Pierce effect. Just he's the other coach. Let me use a different name. It's the let's take the black coach that the Panthers had a couple years ago.
Steve Wilks.
Yeah. Interim, Steve Wilks comes in, Panthers look good. They didn't hire him, unfortunately. But like you look good when somebody new is there. We get it. Andy Dalton has 2 games of evidence of him looking good. Got it. But do we really think this Panthers team is good? I do not. Next week, I want to see some realistic expectations. Who do they play next week? The
Bengals.
Panthers.
Yeah.
They play the Bengals.
They can make the Bengals be 0-4. Andy Dalton against his former team.
And honestly,
you guys pass me up for Joe Burrow. You must be insane.
Yeah. And we can segue to that Monday night game after this convo because we probably should talk a little bit more about Bryce Young and Andy Dalton, but Bengals defense sucks as well. Andy's probably gonna look good there too. So Bryce might be out of there. Two weeks in a row. They should go ahead trade him now. Fuck it. Get him out of there.
And I ask you, is it a Steve Wilks interim coach type of situation? Or is it a Joe Flacco taking over for Deshaun Watson type of situation where it's like, oh, we just needed somebody to be competent and the rest of the team is good enough that like we can be decent?
Possibly, but it just, for what the Panthers need, keep Bryce Young in. There's no need to try to make the playoffs with this fucking roster. There's no need to get all excited.
We owe it to our fans. We owe it to the players.
No, just keep them in. Take the booze.
6-9.
If you guys want to go, like your over/under for the season was 6.5, which I thought was egregious. Somehow there must have been some insider information knowing that Bryce Young was about to get benched week 3. But there's no need to win.
If you're the Panthers and you're not trying to win and you're giving up on Bryce Young, would you trade him this season?
Man, it depends, bro. Like, I would say
if you give me a 3rd round pick, I'll do it.
I would trade him, but also bench Andy Dalton.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll play him versus the Bengals.
Spot again.
Yeah, I'll play him versus the Bengals. I got to look at the schedule before I start talking willy-nilly. Ooh, God damn it. They got Bengals, Bears. Bears have a good defense. So I'll play up against the Bengals. But, oh, yeah, he's a savior because the Bengals defense is fucking horrible. We'll talk about that next. Play him against the Bears. That might look shitty. Then we bench him versus the Bears. Play somebody else versus the Falcons. Then we start losing again. We go tank time.
I like this.
Get a top 5 pick. You keep it moving. I'm not a Panthers fan. That would just be my strategy. Like, there's no need for you guys to win. Chuba Hubbard isn't a good running back. You guys still need a fucking real receiver. Adam Thielen is on the IR, but he's 33. Deontay Johnson is a fucking head case. All right? He's not going to be your number 1. And your boy, quarter-horse old Leggett Xavier out here moving them shrimp. I don't know what the fuck he's on, but he does not get any targets. So
I promise you it's not stimulants.
Yeah. I don't know, bro. But yeah, that would be my strategy. I don't know about you. What would you do?
Trade him to the Miami Dolphins.
Ooh, good pick. I love that. Genius. But you do need to trade him. I think you should trade him.
Miami Dolphins, your season's about to be over. You guys are scoring 11 fucking points a game. Skylar Thompson is absolutely fucking terrible. You got all these weapons. Your roster is expensive as shit. And your quarterback really doesn't have to do much. Like, just get the ball out within 1.5 seconds. Let people get yards after the catch. It's like the same type of system that he had at Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I would try that when I trade him to the Dolphins. People were talking about the Raiders. I don't know. I don't like him with Antonio Pierce.
I like the Dolphins. Go for the Dolphins. At least you give him like some stability to maybe help him out. Because I don't think like if Bryce Young doesn't make it past this point, he will be the worst quarterback ever.
Yeah,
maybe like Ryan Leaf. But honestly,
Jamarcus Russell.
Off the top of my head, yeah. But off the top of my head, I think a lot of those guys, and you wouldn't even know it, like started more games than 17 or 18. Yeah. I think Bryce Young has. I think they have 20. Even Darnold has more than that. Zach Wilson has more starts than that. Even Tim Couch The motherfucker from Cleveland that was the Nebraska quarterback who ran the option and they drafted him in the first round. Think he has more starts than that?
Oh my God, Terry, that Cleveland shit just jogged my brain. I saw a stat this weekend about Cleveland that blew my mind.
Go for it.
So far this season, this is the worst offense the Cleveland Browns have had in 25 years.
Oh, yeah. We're talking Tim Couch era, baby.
We're talking Tim Couch. We're talking Johnny Manziel. We're talking Deshaun Kaiser. We're talking Joey Harrington. All these guys were better than Deshaun Watson, who they're paying $200 million. You can't make this shit up.
I mean, hey, he's sucking, bro. I guess that money just went to him. I don't know what's going on with him. He's oof, man. They got a problem though, bro, because they can't cut him. You know,
you knew they had a problem when Joe Flacco took him to the playoffs, and they're like, let's not re-sign him because it's going to upset Deshaun. Everyone's going to realize that he's better than our starting quarterback.
What the fuck is going on with him though? They're like not. Is he not prepared? Like, I'm just so confused.
He's got the yips. My man has got the yips.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him, but I don't even want to talk about him.
Who do you want to talk about, Terry? You tell me.
Let's go Bengals Commanders, and then we'll talk about Josh Allen after that. So Bengals Commanders, bro. The Bengals are 0-3. Is it done? Is it over?
It's done. It's done.
No playoffs. Done. They're not making the playoffs.
No.
You're calling it. 0-3. Yeah. Has anybody ever come back from 0-3? I don't even know. I don't
know. They better be 0-4 after Andy Dalton storms through town.
Look, I know the Bengals defense is horrible. They played pretty bad the past.
Yeah. Turns out Jesse Bates was the glue who kept that entire defense together. And 2 years in a row without him on the back end, it's just big plays, big plays, big plays, no cohesion.
You know, they don't like to pay safeties, but I think they should, man. If you have one that's really good who can read the game, it really does a lot for your team, bro. It really does. So they're in trouble, dog. They're in trouble, man. Joe Burrow out here looking great, though. I don't blame Joe. Do you blame Joe?
No. I mean, come on.
Should we put pressure on Joe?
He still can't even throw 3 days in a row in practice.
But he looked great in this game and last week versus the Chiefs. He looked great versus the Chiefs as well. And they almost won that game. They're really close to winning that one.
It's the Bengals defense that's concerning. It's their run game that's concerning.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, his health is my only concern, not his ability or his preparation.
Hey, brother. Joe Burrow in September is starting to be a thing.
It is.
I ain't gonna lie. Next year, if he comes with another injury, I'm betting big time. I'm going I might bet $1,000 on them losing to, the Patriots. You can't lose to the Patriots and score 10 points versus. I know their defense is supposed to be good, but come on, bro. 16-10. What are we doing, dude? You completely bottled that game. Last week.
The farther we get away from that, the worse that's going to look.
Brother, I mean, come on. And I get it. You know, he played great. It's kind of like the Josh Allen thing, and that'll be the next game. But, he played great versus the Chiefs, even though, he gave his team 15 seconds, and the Chiefs still came down and scored and won in overtime. You know, you don't want to blame him, but it's Tom Brady. And I'm not, it's hard to compare, but Tom could read the game in the first quarter. He's like, hey, my defense is getting torched. I got to try to score every single time. I got to put the pressure on the coach. Hey, look, man, we have to go for this 4th and 3. This team is scoring on us willy-nilly. We got to continue to do it. The Bengals lost the game last night. Well, Monday, because today's Wednesday, because 2 field goal attempts and McPherson missed 1. You got to just go for it, bro. Your team wasn't stopping them at all. Jaden Daniels was 21 for 23, looking like he was at Arizona State or LSU winning the fucking Heisman, cooking. He was cooking them easy. 2 of the fucking incompletions one was a miscommunication and one defender tipped it. Other than that, he was almost perfect. It's a rookie quarterback.
I think we got to start talking about Zach Taylor a little bit more too, as a questionable type of coach. We've sang his praises and everything like that. And last year he won games to the backup quarterback. But some of the decision making has been baffling over the last 2 years. The offense is like, I feel like at this point it's getting bailed out by Joe Burrow, who has all these third and longs that he has to complete into tight windows. And
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know. He doesn't have no manageables. He doesn't have no second and ones where you could take a shot.
And
Like
they've never
he's
really had a run
always
game.
behind the fucking sticks. The run game is shitty. Like, and
Hmm.
Joe Burrow is just like, I'll be where I'm holding this together with fucking scraps of twigs
Yeah.
and chewing gum and trash from the side of the road, and I'll take all this shit and make it like a watchable product.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if hot seat any of that bullshit, but I do think maybe it's time to start paying some closer attention to Zach Taylor.
I mean, if they don't make the playoffs, I think they do have to change something. This organization is very, very cheap. Joe Burrow and
Maybe they should change making their players have to cross the highway to get to practice. Maybe they should change that.
dude, they're
Maybe they should change the fact that they have less than half of a staff for their football team compared to the next lowest team. Like
yeah.
they're supporting assistant coaches, medical staff, all that type of shit. Maybe you
No,
guys should
yeah.
change that too.
They're cheap, man. And have they signed Jamar Chase?
I don't
Did they
think so.
did
I
they
don't think
find
so.
that's what I'm saying. So I mean they got Joe and everybody else, they ain't really getting paid.
Yep.
Stop being cheap. And the funny thing was like they drafted Joe, he tore his ACL. I like the Jamar Chase pickup, but you gotta trade back and give me a couple first rounders. Give me some O linemen. This dude needs some O linemen. You keep every single offseason, they're just like, oh yeah, we'll just get this old veteran and try to plug him in. We'll get this other old veteran and try to plug him in. He'll probably work. Sack. He got sacked 9 times and they won that game. That's impossible. You went to the
Yeah.
Super Bowl off of pure horseshit. The Titans should have won that fucking football game. The Chiefs game, I get it. Your defense was good at that era. Right now, your D's horrible.
Jesse Bates ain't back there, baby.
Joe Burrow is a really good quarterback, but he ain't perfect, man. You know,
No.
he needs some help. Let's move
They
on to the
got
second.
they got to protect Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
Like they protected Lamar Jackson this week, man. It seemed like the
Cowboys.
Ravens, they finally discovered their identity, which is run the fucking ball nonstop and give it to Derrick Henry. Stop giving the ball to Justice Hill 15 times a game. You're paying all
Yeah.
this money for Derrick Henry. How about you use him? Oh,
They
all he
used
did
him.
was break 12 tackles against the Cowboys. He gained over 150 yards. He scored 2 touchdowns on 25 carries. It's the first time all season they gave this man the ball 20 times.
They used
It's
him
a
right,
simple
bro.
formula. Run it with Derrick Henry
Yeah.
and then keep it and let Lamar run it. Guess what? Lamar Jackson ran for 90 yards in the game. He only
Mhm.
threw 15 passes. He completed 12 of them. This is the formula. We've been saying it since the preseason. Do
Yeah.
not stray from the path.
Nah. They used him right. They were trying to, use Derrick Henry in the shotgun and do like the read options and, do some RPOs out of those formations. But unfortunately, Derrick Henry's a downhill type of dude. He needs to be in that I formation, bro. He needs to be in that single back. He needs to be going downhill. He just doesn't have that acceleration to get his feet, running to get in the hole and like run somebody over and keep it moving. So
He's a
they
juggernaut.
gotta,
He's got build up speed.
yeah. That's the reason though, like it's kind of why the Cowboys came back because they kind of figured it out. So it was like, I you can do the read and have Jackson keep it with the Derrick Henry look, but they kind of started to figure that out as the game went on because like the Cowboys are a decently coached team. They're not horrible, and the talent is good. So like every time Justice Hill is in the game in that shotgun formation, they're like, all right, it's probably gonna if he's in the game, they're gonna give it to him with the run. If Derrick Henry's in the game, Lamar Jackson's gonna run it, and they did that shit so many times in the second half. I was like, all right, guys, I noticed the shit, and I'm not like a fucking football knowledgeable super guy at all. And I was like,
Yeah.
this is too predictable. And
And
you guys, they were up like
they,
20
they
something to
almost
6.
blew another gigantic fourth quarter lead. You
I
would,
don't know what their problem is.
yeah, I do agree in the second half of getting a bit predictable. You'd think that would open up everything. Like
Yeah.
you see the Steelers, it's like, oh, they hit you with the run game, run game, run game. Next thing you know, George Pickens is catching a 45-yard pass near the sideline.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
missing
no
that
play.
element from Zay Flowers. I'm missing the jet sweeps. I'm missing the like run after catch type of stuff. I'm missing the deep shots. And you'd think, once you get rolling like you are, and
Yeah.
your quarterback has almost 100 rushing yards, and your running back has 150 and 2 touchdowns, and they
Mhm.
start putting 9 players in the box, you'd think that you'd be able to kind of exploit some of that and take some shots. But Ravens still trying to gel, it looks like, and they got to figure it the fuck out quick
Yeah,
because
it's
they're one
weird.
and two.
It is weird because as good as they run, you should think they'd be able to like finish these teams off, for all the years, even when Lamar was there when he first started, as well as they've been running for the past 4 to 5 years, they should be able to finish these games off. What was the record when they had like a second half or not up 20? It was like maybe they had like the most comeback losses or some shit when they were like up 20
Yeah,
over
yeah,
everyone in the league or
yeah,
something. I was like,
and
what?
that includes the Atlanta Falcons.
Insane.
Who do you want to talk about next, Terry?
Second best quarterback in the league now, bro. Josh Allen. Surgical performance. I think actually though, the Jaguars probably just suck, if I'm being completely honest with you. But man, Josh might be the MVP this year, dude. I ain't gonna lie. I thought this was the year he wasn't gonna be the guy. Yeah, I mean, like the team in general. I thought the
Yeah,
team wasn't gonna be great, but I think they found the formula from last year. James Cook is cooking. He's
he
playing
is.
well. He's running the ball fantastically, and it's opening up a whole lot for Josh Allen. Josh Allen doesn't have to be Superman. He can hand it off to James, and James is averaging like 4, 5 a pop, easy every time. The Bills are something to watch out for, bro. I'm not gonna lie. And Jets,
Yeah.
Jets, nice little win too. But Josh Allen, he was cooking. He was
It's
cooking.
nice when you're like, he doesn't have to be Superman, and he has 4 passing touchdowns, 50 rushing yards, 250 passing
He
yards.
was chilling. He did. He wasn't
Yeah.
even like working hard.
They
He
scored a
wasn't,
touchdown their first 5 possessions, and they're up
bro.
34-3 at halftime. And then they're like, all right, let us chill.
Hey, Trevor, it might be over for you, dog. You got your money. Don't be doing that Deshaun Watson impersonation. But 0-3 Jags, it's done. I'm starting to look at the coach. I'm starting to look at the QB. Some shit might have to change, man. I
Took
don't
you a
know.
while, it took you a while to get here, Terry, but I'm happy that you've seen the light with Trevor Lawrence.
Bro, it was injuries though, because like we get rid of Urban Meyer. The Jaguars
Yeah.
get rid of Urban Meyer. He looks
And they,
good second year. He
yeah.
looks good third year. He gets hurt.
Yeah.
He looked decent when he
They
was
look okay.
fully healthy. He was cooking. Everybody kind of forgets that. I don't remember exactly what the numbers were, but it was a decent ratio, completion percentage, everything was great. He was hurt, really hurt, like high ankle sprain. Probably shouldn't have played. Just played through it all the way to the end of the year. They almost beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. Then the next year he's hurt again. It's like I don't know, man. This year he's healthy and he's playing bad, so there's nothing I can say about that. But the 2 years he's hurt and he was cooking when he was cooking, but now
Maybe he just got shell shocked. You know what I mean? I don't
maybe,
know what to tell
bro.
you. I will
Hey,
say
Belt.
I was wrong about the Bills. I
Yeah,
didn't pick
me
them
too,
to make
bro.
the wild card. I didn't pick them to make the playoffs. I'm like,
Yeah,
they got no number one receiver. The
yeah.
weapons, unconvinced. James Cook, can he block on third down? Can he stop
Hey,
dropping easy touchdown passes? And they're just blowing through everybody, bro.
yeah.
Meanwhile,
It's
on the
not
other
not your
side,
fault.
dog, the Dolphins are in a state of collapse.
They're done. It's over. It's
Unless they
over,
trade for Bryce Young to salvage their season.
dude.
They're
I want to
averaging
tell.
11 points a game, Terry. Last year, they scored 29 points a game.
They fucked up. They should have re-signed Tyrod Taylor. But who's the worst quarterback you've ever seen throw a ball?
Marcus Mariota.
Marcus Mariota over Desmond Ritter?
Yeah, he threw it like this.
No, I'm just saying in general, just regular pass attempts and shit. Like just horrible pass attempts over and over and over again.
Oh, man. I don't know. Byron Leftwich was pretty tough when Vic went to
Okay.
jail.
Okay. So look, Skylar Thompson.
He's up there. He's up there. You remember Cleo Lemon?
Yeah, he was bad. He was bad. Desmond Ritter was really bad last year. It says something that he's not on an NFL roster, to be honest with you. And I tried to get you there. Anyways, we don't want to go back in time.
Terry, we only have 5 minutes left, just to let you know.
Oh,
We have no
God.
time for Desmond Ritter.
Skylar Thompson, probably one of the worst throwers I've ever seen in my life. So many missed throws, but like by yards, like 7-yard missed throws. I'm like, oh my God. Tyreek Hill was so frustrated. He was wide open for a bubble screen and just dropped it because he was like, shit, I wasn't used to this. I'm not in rhythm. Like, this is the first pass to hit me in the hands. I think it was like the second or third quarter. And I was like, wow.
Oh, Terry, I'm sorry. I came up with my answer for the
Go ahead.
most errant throws. It's Anthony Richardson.
Oh.
And it's happening right now.
Yeah,
Terry,
but at least he hit you with one good one.
Game. I know you watched that shit. My man was sailing.
I thought we could get away with it. I thought we could get away without talking
over
about
people's heads, bro. Anthony Richardson looks like a guy who's played quarterback 18 times since he's been in high school. And my dumbass drafted him in fantasy. I was like, oh, he's not going to throw. He's just going to run constantly. He's just
is he
fast as Lamar Jackson, as big as Cam Newton. They're not going to make him
up
throw.
And down though. How many points is he getting though? Like I feel like some games
he got like 30 the first week, and then since then he's had like 5 and 6.
Oh,
and,
okay. Hey, you take 30 though. You'll take 30.
Yeah. How many turnovers? I think he has 7 or 8 already. So they're asking him about like, how are you missing people by 10 yards in the press conferences? And he's like, I got to just stop being so hard on myself and go out there and play with confidence. It's like, bro, you're throwing slants 40 yards out of bounds, brother. He might be the worst I've ever seen in terms of like, what was that type of throws?
I don't even know, man. But he every 10 throws is a beauty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a 70-yard bomb right in his hands.
Oh, bro. The one last, I think it was either last week or week 1, the one where he threw it 70 yards in the air while he was getting hit. And I was like, this guy, he's got it. And now he hit me with the Donovan McNabb fucking drag route, underthrow, hits the ground. I'm like, yo, what's going on? He's got it. He's got it, though. He's got it. I believe in him. His talent is insane, bro.
Well, he's got to figure it out because you know who's the backup quarterback there in Indianapolis?
Who is it?
Joe Flacco.
Oh, God. Uh-oh. Don't let him do it again. Don't let him do it again.
Anthony Richardson, you don't have that much more rope to fuck up because if it gets to week 8 and you guys suck, Joe Flacco is coming in the game.
Yeah, man. Tough.
Tough indeed. 2.5 minutes left on the timer, Terry. I think that's not enough time for us to talk about Arsenal Man City unless you can
So let's nah. So we only have 40 minutes a day, right?
Yeah. We're burning it right now.
No, I'm just saying if I do it on my end, because I feel like it'd be an injustice to not talk about it, or we can just leave it.
We may have to push it to next week, or you got 2 minutes right now, Terry. The floor is yours.
Nah, that's fine. We got the tie. It was a tough game. 2 minutes isn't justice enough for me. I watched it. It was cool. It was a good time. Chicago Bears let me down. That was fucking horrible. Caleb Williams looks like he might suck. The O-line is bad though. Yeah, there's not much I want to talk about. It's over. City's fine. Rodri's hurt. ACL. He's out for the year. That sucks. But it's too many things to talk about in a short amount of time.
I agree. So let's talk about the 49ers, the Rams, and the Seahawks. And out of all those, somehow the Seahawks are 3-0, winning the division. The Rams managed to beat the 49ers despite half of their team being injured.
Dude, McVay might be the one. He might be the one.
Is it Mike McDonald? Because the Seahawks defense is number 1 in the league, and Geno Smith is completing 75% of his passes and is throwing for almost 900 yards.
He's back. Yo, McCaffrey, though. IR? Did we talk about that last time?
The NFL needs to investigate this. I told you. The NFL needs to investigate this type of bullshit.
No, but I said before week 1.
We didn't hear the word Achilles until an hour before the kickoff of week 1.
I told you I was like, he's out.
We heard soreness. We didn't hear the goddamn word Achilles until the actual regular season started. And now we're 4 games into this shit, and they're going to put him on IR, and he's getting his Achilles looked at by people. This is, you're faking the funk. You're leading us astray. I've been run amok. You let people take this man number 1 in every fantasy draft the entire fucking offseason. And now, guess what? He's had a torn Achilles since May. Fuck you guys. With all the money that's been lost on betting on the 49ers and fantasy and all this shit, NFL needs to have a goddamn investigation of the 49ers. And I want to see penalties levied. Thank you for listening to our podcast this evening. Thank you. You're far too kind.